Hi guys, Rick Shaw here again, and I'd like to do a expat themed thing today for you. And I want to show you something first. We've got some beautiful clouds going today, and I don't see any of those like contrails they say like they have in the U.S. where it's all crisscrossed in the sky. So I don't know what that's all about. I'm glad I'm not there. But I want to do my little disclaimer thing. I made a video before. I'll be posted today also, and my wife and our Filipino friends watch it. So, I always let them look at it first before I put anything up. And my wife just pointed out something I had said about the Filipinos not following the rules. And she knew what I meant. She goes, I knew what you meant, but you better clarify that. So I'm going to do that right now. When they don't follow the rules, I meant just in the driving, a lot of them. Okay, not all of them, but a lot of them. I didn't mean it as a general blanket on everything in the world. They're very good rule followers. They dot their I's and cross their T's big time. So I just wanted to get that across. And the other thing, my friend mentioned it, Filipino guy, and he said, about not getting a fair shake. And what I meant by that was, if you get into an altercation with a Filipino, like my father told me one time, he said, as soon as you get into a physical altercation with a Filipino, you've lost. And that's what I was wanting to get at there. Didn't come across that way to him, so I'm just clarifying that. Don't get in a tussle with these people. They're good-natured people, and in general, you're going to find that throughout this country. But like everywhere, there's good and bad places no matter where you go. So that's that. But I want to get into my theme of expat and talk about insurance today. I had really good insurance with my retirement package. If I visited here, it covered me. Emergency services, you pay, but then they reimburse you. But once I lived here, boom, it's gone. And if I want to get insurance that'll cover me here, it's still pay first and submit the bill and get it 10 years later, who knows. But it's $1,258 a month for the cheapest one. And thanks, Obamacare, socialist pricks. Excuse me. But yeah, you got to watch that. But it should be so much cheaper here. You retire also, Medicare doesn't work here, so you got to understand that and have cash if you need to go to the hospital. But it is extremely cheap. I had a heart problem here back in 2016. I was down to Binion where my children were born. I'll tell you about that. Oh, I love you too, mister. I love you very much, my beautiful Maddie. But and I went down to the doctor down there, and I didn't realize what a good job he did, but he basically said you need to get to the States, which I did, and I had to have a procedure done on my heart. And when I was down there, they sent me from the Cleveland Clinic down to the place in Pennsylvania. It was supposed to be the best place for the heart. That's what they said. Well, when I got down there, they were really impressed with the work that was done previous to me getting there. They said that doctor was extremely thorough. You were lucky you had him. You probably wouldn't be alive without him. So I'm just going to give a little shout out. That was Dr. Mina from Binion Doctors Hospital. He's kind of like a hippie-looking dude, but straight up guy. I mean, he's a class act 100% of the way. So if you have heart trouble here, whether you're a foreigner or a Filipino, I would highly recommend you go see that man. I mean, he's a serious guy. He knows his business. So there's that. But healthcare's cheap. My wife, we have 3 children, had to have C-sections on all 3. Total cost, I mean, from the beginning of seeing the doctor all the way to the aftercare of the baby, was well under $2,000. So that's a pretty good deal. But when you come here, be wary that to have cash in case if something happens or an accident or anything like that. And I recommend you have cash, but if you don't carry it around with you, because who knows, and don't flash it around. Don't flash your cash around when you're around here. And that's anywhere. Everybody should know that. But that's my little bit on the health care. Be careful with that. You just want to make sure that you have good coverage. And other few things I'd like to talk about, when you're here in the Philippines, and if you want to come to live. They have the best transportation system in the world. I was lucky enough to travel around in my lifetime, and bar none, it's the best transportation system in the world. The jeepneys may be old and clunky, but you can pretty much get anywhere. We have a nice car here. If we go to Manila, I don't even drive it anymore. we jump on a jeepney and take the bus. It's real cheap. Air-conditioned buses usually. They get you down there, get you back cheap, and it's no hassle, no stress. So that's kind of nice. When we go to Manila, we usually go early in the morning, and that's definitely the way to go. Last time we went down there, we had to do some stuff at the embassy for my kids' paperwork. Pretty hot day, so we were able to sleep both ways on the bus. Drivers are usually pretty good. These bus drivers. There's my neighbor. Say hi, neighbor. Hey, hi, YouTube. That's my nice neighbor over here. So we like that going on the bus instead of driving. It's hassle, and it's way a lot more money. So the transportation system's good. You could actually live here as a retiree and never have a vehicle. I would, however, recommend getting a bike. You know, for me, a bike is something where if I'm stressed out, I don't want to get mad at anybody. I jump on my bike and I go. And I don't know what that is, but it's the best head shrinker in the world for me. And plus, it's very interesting to ride here. You got to be on the ball. You know, I focus on just the riding. It just clears everything out of my brain. But you can pick up a nice bike for under $1,000. You can pick up a real nice one for under $1,500. They got some nice ones. You don't need the big bikes here. You know, I'm contemplating now I was thinking of getting an XT250. Had one before. Great bike. I mean, and simple. I'm a KISS principal. I like simple. There's no dang radiator. There's not all this fancy bull crap on it. It's a basic thing. It's fuel injected now, which I'm into. I like that. And that's a great bike. But it's 229,000 peso. And I can go get a XTZ, I believe it's called, 125, for around 84, and cash price is going to be less. Here, if you got cash, they'll always give you a little bit of a discount. If you're paying on credit, then you know they just don't deal. It's not like the U.S. where you can haggle and deal on the stuff. You're paying credit, you're going to pay what they have on the paper, and that's about it. So, but you can get some pretty cool bikes, and it's all you need. I had a 135 Kawasaki Rouser. I just loved it. I mean, the thing got up and went just as good as I needed to go here. You know, I don't know why there aren't more dirt bikey type bikes here. They're rare to see around here. But with the way the roads are and the speed bumps, you know, I like the idea of a dirt bike, you know, dual sport type bike. If I had my way, I'd have the DRZ 400. But there's certain bikes they just don't sell here. Can't get them. Also, if you get a bike here and you have your 125, can't go on the highway. You know, on any of the major highways, you got to have a minimum of 400 cc's here. They're letting that KTM. They call it a 390. It's a 375 cc single cylinder on the highway. Now me, you know, I'm never in a big hurry to get something. I like to see some data first, and be honest with you, they're just problematic. Just across the board, KTM, from what I can see, they're problematic. And I imagine it's like some of the other stuff we get here. When I was in the U.S., we go down to the dollar store, and a lot of stuff's Chinese. Walmart, everything in Walmart's Chinese, pretty much. But I believe it's first-tier products. And here in the Philippines, I don't think you're getting the first-tier products. I really don't. We've bought fans already here that last a month or two, and they're burned out. You know, and some of them, you get one that started on fire. You know, so I don't think we're getting the best of the best from China, which isn't the best anyway. So I got to be careful with that. And KTM, I think we're getting seconds. I believe it's made in India. I'm not saying anything against the Indians. I see some nice vehicles. My Piaggio 8 from there. I'm totally satisfied with that. And that's an Indian, made in India. And there's getting to be some Indian bikes come in, and I'm not really seeing problems with them. There's some Chinese ones coming in, But it's just like anything, like every bike I ever got. I'd get the dang thing home and I'd go completely over them, make sure all the bolts were torqued down, you know, just check them. Loctite where there wasn't Loctite. I had a Harley here, bolt on the injector system came loose. Every bolt on the bike was Loctited except one. They missed it somehow. So, you know, I caught that and Loctited it up. That was on the day I got it. So it's just one of the things you got to do. But I wish they would come around with the DRZ. There's a fella here selling one. So I haven't looked at it or anything yet, but it's been modded. And me, I'm not into the mods. I like to do mods to lighten the weight. You know, like on the dirt bikes of the past, I'll get rid of the big exhaust can. I don't want a loud bike by no means. I see people here loud bikes. I also see a lot of people on the bikes at nighttime that ride with no lights on. Now, yeah, can you ride at nighttime and see without your lights on? Sure you can. But those lights aren't always just for you to see it, so other people can see you. You know, I've come along the road and there's been a tricycle on the road, and I didn't see him till the last second because he's riding without his lights on. So they do a lot of that here. You have to be careful of that. But a lot of folks come in here. You don't need a car. You just don't. Anything you need to do, you can do. Personally, myself, I loved it when I had the tricycle. That was absolutely fantastic. I just loved having that thing, and well, I would like to have another one. That's for sure. They're just a neat little vehicle if you want to jump and do short trips. We actually took long trips on it, so you know it's done. Even Filipinos said, "Oh wow, you went all the way there on that." Yeah, sure. It's kind of cool. You don't have to worry about you know when you get away from the trafficy areas, like when we were down in Mindoro. There's like no traffic problems down there. Once in a while up at a corner or something where they're having a market on a Sunday, it might be crowded, a lot of walkers and stuff. Another thing I noticed here in the Philippines, I keep going back to the driving because it's so important that you know about the driving, but I know when I was in the States, if I was walking down the road, I was over as far as I could be to the right-hand side if there's no good place to walk off the road. And if I was walking with friends or anything, we were single file. Here they'll walk four abreast in the road. They will. Just for an example, we were in the Ape going to take my daughter to her Christmas party yesterday, and there was a man. He was carrying two orange things, an older guy, should have known better, walking right out in the middle of the lane, and there's oncoming things coming, so you can't get around him. And I wasn't really pissed. I got to go walking speed for a while, and my wife was starting to get mad. Why don't you beat the horn at him? No, what for? He knows I'm there. My Piaggio's plenty loud. He just was going to walk in the thing, and he did it for a good 500 feet. Just walked right in the middle of the road, blocking us. Actually, the people behind were starting. The Filipinos on the trikes behind were starting to blow their horn, and he just wouldn't get out of the way. So you'll run into that, not every day, but you know, be aware that could happen. And I just don't let it bother me anymore. I don't need to be anywhere. I like to leave plenty early when I go anywhere. Another thing, when I was in the States, I always heard about Filipino time. Filipinos, they're always late and all this stuff. I haven't seen that yet. You know, we've had Filipinos come to do work for us, and they do a good job. And people say I'm going to be here at that time. That's pretty much when we see them. Sometimes earlier. So I don't know about that. Maybe it's true in some places, but not what I've seen. And they do really good work for a low price. There's some real craftsmen here. And also stated too, you got to, like I was talking about, you know, that sometimes I don't get a fair shake in the markets, but there are places that I get a better shake. My wife just talked about this yesterday. We went to Divisoria. We like to go there. It's up towards Manila, and we can get, if you're going to do shopping, you can get some pretty cool stuff up there. And clothes, if you're going to buy clothes, you want to get, I like to get the Filipino stuff. It's very high quality, good stitching. They roll the things up underneath. The material's high quality. If you're coming here just to visit and you want to bring gifts back, look for the tag that says "Made in the Philippines," and you'll just feel it. You'll just feel the quality. My wife's father was a tailor, and they do some really nice clothes for cheap. So you know that would be something to do to bring back for gifts. You know, for your friends when you go there. But we went down to Divisoria, and she has a friend that has a shop in the market here. And we bought some nice clothes for the kids. It was Christmas shopping, and the lady, we'd been there before. The lady was happy to see us, and I like to go to this one store because it's got the prices right on the shirts. It's like $180 for this and that. Well, we bought some stuff. She gave it to us for $140, and then my wife was just saying her friend goes to the same place and they charged her $160. So there are places you can. There's some Filipinos that they're not going to gouge you. They're gonna actually treat you pretty good, and so we like to shop down there. That's all there is to it. Divisoria is a great place if you want to go. And you get down around Manila, you can get on buses. It even says it right on the bus, Divisoria, and check that place out. It's a hoot. It's not like anything I've ever seen in the United States. It's usually a pretty busy place, and just anything you want. I have a flat Earth map, and I wanted to get it framed because I'm going to hang it on my wall. Here, I'll show it to you. I hope the light's going to work good. But they framed this thing for like, I think it was less than $18. It's a little dark in here. Let me turn the light on. But where did my wife put it? No, my wife moved it, so I don't know where it went. Let's go in here. Let's turn another light on our little abode here. Where did she? Oh, there she is. I'll take it outside, but they framed this up with glass. I've been in the States before and had things framed. Little tiny 8x10 is going to cost you $25 to frame, but there's my nice flat Earth map. They did a nice job on framing. I didn't get a real fancy frame, but the price was about the same. They did a nice job all the way around on this thing, so that's kind of nice. May I look into that flat Earth stuff. A lot of people say, you're crazy. But you know, the older I'm getting, I like to look at all kinds of stuff and see what it is. But a lot of different things happened. There was a plane coming from over this way, and it was going to L.A. And of course, if you look on the globe, it's straight across. And a fellow had a heart attack, and they veered off to Anchorage for emergency. Well, wait a minute. If they were going straight across to LA, why would they go way north, long way north? But if you look at the flat Earth map, and you're coming from here, and then you're going to there, of course you would stop there if there was an emergency. Now, if they say that it's a round globe and you're here and you're going straight there, why would you veer off and go way up there? That's just it's just something. Look into it yourself. I'm seeing all this stuff. My little crybaby. My little boy, he can be something. If he doesn't get his way, he's just started recently doing this crying stuff, and I just do my best to ignore it. There's my little crybaby. Don't cry, you're on camera, buddy. Just because you didn't get your way again? All right, stop the crying. He's crying, but that's just a few little things I had to say for you today, and I'm gonna do. I'll do another video here coming up. I got a few more things I want to talk about, but I'm gonna say goodbye from the Philippines.
Mommy.
No, you can't go with Mommy today. I know you love Mommy. Little Mama's going on a trip. She's actually going to Divisoria to do a little bit makeup Christmas shopping. A few things she said she wanted to get, so she's out there. She got some friends. She wanted to pick up a few things for us. So, and her buddy's going, so she's going to have a nice day today. I'm just going to take the kids and go over to the computer shop later and upload these videos. Hope you enjoy them. I try to tell it. I tell it the way I see it. I hope nobody gets mad. But if you do, talk to me about it. I don't never hold a grudge against anybody. And if I say something ain't right, and you got a thing to say, hey, that ain't right. Oh, hey, we'll talk about it. And then I'll adjust it as it goes. I always let my wife see these first before I do them. And I'll let her see this real quick. I can easily send it to her phone and let her look, and I'll get my thumbs up from her or not whether to put it out. So, but y'all take care, and I'll be talking at you again soon. Okay, bye.